Hey everybody, today I want to talk about systems. What are you doing to ensure that you're not leaving sales on the table? One of the most important things, at least from what I've experienced, is, the more, holy cow, almost got ran off the road there by a maniac. One of the most important things that I've learned is keeping track of all of your clients, potential clients, and what needs to happen to move them from one step to another. And when it comes to real estate and new construction home sales, this is something that's very important, because the more people that you work with and bring from point A to point B, the more homes you're going to sell, the more income you're going to make. And that is your primary goal, is to help as many people as you possibly can with their home buying experience, home selling experience, or new home building process. And the more people you can help with that, the better things are for you. So one thing that I used back when I started, and I've gotten away from a little bit, I tend now to write everything down in my planner, and that's fine, but I think it's always good to have kind of a backup too. I mean, you don't want to let something fall through the cracks. And so I have an email set up through Microsoft Outlook, and I'm sure Gmail, there's probably all kinds of other systems that will allow for this as well. But there was a cool thing that I could enter in the Outlook program, and that would basically be, it was like a little card that I could fill in, that I could put the client's names in. I could write down some information about them, what type of home they were looking to build, where they were looking to build, what their total price point was, contact information. And then I could flag that note, or I could flag something to pop up 3 weeks from now. So if I had somebody stop into an open house and they're just starting to get just starting to look at builders, starting to get ideas. They don't want to sit down with anybody right now. They don't want to get too serious about, the information that they're giving out now, but they want to build within the next year. So I'm going to set a reminder to pop up in my calendar. So when I'm sitting down and I've got my computer open like it always is, I'll get something that pops up that says call or email so-and-so. And this is just a really good system to keep track of all of your buyers and let yourself know when you need to contact them. And things right now are great. As I've said before, it's kind of an order-taking market. However, you still need to properly take the order. You still need to be good at what you do in order to bring the sale home. But at the same time, even though it's an order-taking market and there's tons of sales out there for everybody to get, and builders are building more homes than they've built before, more homes than they did last year or the year before, that's not always going to reign true. So you need to also be able to categorize your buyers. You've got your people that you meet via phone call, email, or coming into an open house, and they tell you that they're ready to do something right away. They know that the market is hot right now for existing homes, and they would like to sell, get their house listed and sell their home in the next couple of months, and then they want to start building as soon as possible. So there's a lot of people that are out there that I find myself working with that they can't start soon enough. And then there's the people that are out there that are on the 3-year plan. They want to find their property in the next year, because that's really hard to do right now, and then they want to build in 3 years, or they want to build a year from now or 2 years from now. Well, the people that want to build right now, right this second, are the ones that are your priority. They are the ones that you need to get blueprints done for, pricing done for. You need to move them along as quickly as possible, because they're ready to go and they are ready, willing, and able. And then you've got the people that are a year out. And there are still things that you need to do with them as well. And sometimes they're going to demand that you do things with them. They want to buy a lot, and then once they buy that lot, they want to be in the planning process that entire year up until they build, which I do actually recommend. I mean, I think the more time that you're able to spend with somebody, the more time that the prospective client has to plan out how he wants his home to be, the better it is, as opposed to somebody that they need to build right now, right this second. They still want to do custom, but there's not going to be a lot of time spent where they're able to sit and just digest a plan, a preliminary plan for a year or even 6 months. They want to get rolling right away. So, I mean, if I had to choose and I was the one that was buying or building a house, I'd want to have a little bit of time there to make sure that I didn't forget anything. But you, as the salesperson, you need to flag those people. So when you're putting in their contact information, you need to rank them as an A buyer, a B buyer, or a C buyer. And an A buyer is somebody that is ready to roll. They want to get started right now. So you've got to prioritize with them. You've got to keep in touch with them, and they may have not committed to you yet. They've just said what their situation is, and they're an A buyer. That means you need to focus a lot of time and energy on them. You need to be setting up meetings with them as quickly as, one meeting, getting them what they need, setting up another meeting. You need to assume that sale and bring them from point A to point B, and you need to do it quickly. And then you have your B buyers. So they're a year out, they're 2 years out, and they don't need as much constant attention. But if you meet them now, and even if they know you, they like you, and they trust you, but then, in the next year, they end up meeting somebody else, and that person is keeping in constant contact with them, they may end up choosing that other person. So if you meet somebody now, and even though they're not looking to start anything for a year or even 2, you need to set yourself reminders. Contact the Bryants in 6 months and just ask them how everything is going, because sometimes things change too. Sometimes people say 3 years, but now they realize that the building costs are starting to go crazy, interest rates are going up, so now they're like, well, what the heck, why don't we just do this now? And if you're keeping in touch with them, you're going to know that. You may know that before anybody else does. So you got to have these systems in place. It's very important to have all of the sales skills, other things that I've talked about, being trustworthy, assuming the sale, how to close sales, this, that, and the other. Yes, you still need to have all of those skills, but ultimately, you're going to sell as many homes as your system allows you to. And if you don't have a system and you're just running around out there crazy and you're responding back to every email that comes in and every phone call that comes in, you're spending 20 minutes talking to this person here, 20 minutes talking to them there, you're meeting with everybody, you don't have any type of a plan or system in place to get those most important A buyers from point A to point B. So what goes along with keeping track of your buyers and categorizing them? And again, most importantly, keeping them, even if you're writing down in your planner, the Joneses, we need to do this, this, and this with them. Make sure you're entering that into some type of a program that's going to automatically pop up and allow you to read it. Because I know one thing with me, one of the ongoing issues I have with my daily planner is that I write everything in there I need to do in the beginning of the week. I make the list, I categorize and prioritize, and then I take my day and I plan out what I need to do in that day. I'm going to spend an hour doing phone calls and emails. I'm going to spend the next hour doing pricing for this person, the next hour putting together plan notes for this person, the next hour working on survey stuff for this person, so that I can move each one of them from point A to point B. And the difficulty I have with that is I write everything down in the day, but then I may come in the next day and I need to get ripping and rolling on things right away. I don't always want to take and transfer all of that information from one page to the next one. So sometimes I'll white things out and write over the top of the whiteout and, the things that I cross off the list from the day before. But sometimes things start to get a little jumbled and unorganized, and you may not be looking at things how you need to. Whereas if you're entering them into some type of a program, whether that's through Microsoft Outlook, where you can set a date and a time in which you'll get a reminder that pops up in front of you, and then you know exactly what you need to do there, or you're using some type of a system through Gmail or whatever it is, that's the better route to go, because I can guarantee you things will slip through the cracks. Even voicemails. If you get a voicemail from somebody and you're not within that time block in which you want to call somebody back, or it's on your day off, just pop yourself a note into that system so that when you get back into the office on Monday or Tuesday, you don't have to try and remember to call that person back, or you don't have to even go and find your planner and write it down. You can pop it into your system, which of course you'll have access through your phone, and you can have something pop up on Monday that says, call John, so that you don't forget about it. And I've got the same thing that just happened to me. I had a voicemail from somebody on my day off. They said, give me a call back at your convenience. And of course, a week goes by and all of a sudden it pops into my head as I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to give that person a call. So now I'm going to feel like a real idiot giving him a call back a week later, and I've got to, I'm sorry about that. It'll never happen again. Well, how do you ensure that's not going to happen again? You need to have systems. Systems are going to allow you to sell the most homes. In addition to your system of giving yourself reminders and categorizing your buyers, you need to have one more system in place. And these 3 systems will ensure you to categorize your buyers so you know which ones are most important and which ones are the ones to prioritize. And then you've got your next system. That system ensures that you are doing what you need to do with those buyers in order to move them from point A to point B. It ensures that you're giving them a call to get the information that you need. It ensures that you're setting up meetings with them to be able to take them from one point to the next. But the other thing that you need to have is a board. And again, this can be something online, but once you get the Joneses and they commit to you and they give you the deposit and you're starting to move forward with them, there's a number of things that you have to do. And I actually have a video on this. I will put a link in the description here that shows the board that I actually physically have up in my office. And again, it's something that you can have on your computer as well, so that your whole company or your whole team can see what's going on here. But basically, I'm writing down the client's names in order. And then I've got a checklist of everything I need to do with that client. Because for me, and at least what my job role is as a new construction home salesperson that's building custom homes, I've got a lot of little checkpoints that I need to hit. Number 1 is once they commit to building, we've got, and I give them pricing and they're all good there, we've got to get a preliminary plan for them. And then we've got to be able to go and take a look at their lot and determine whether the garage needs to be on the right side of the home or the left side of the home. And no matter how your floor plan is, it can always be reversed to fit on the lot, because you always want the garage on the high side of the lot and the rest of the house on the lower side of the lot. That gives you a least steep driveway. It helps for draining, grading. It's just the way that you should do it. So that's one of the things that you should check while the preliminary plan's happening or right after, so that once they get the preliminary plan back, they're looking at it this way and they don't have to make that adjustment down the road when you tell them that they have to mirror image it. So you've got that. You've got to determine if there's maybe going to be some extra dirt that needs to get moved off the lot. Then you need to get survey work done. You need to get the house staked out. Once you get a full set of blueprints, and that's one of the categories, you need to be able to get architectural control approval from the neighborhood. You need to do selections with them. You need to ensure the selections are done. The house has to be staked out, and then you're going in for permits. You got these 10 different things that the Joneses need to do before you can turn them over to the team that handles the building process and the hole is getting dug. So in order to keep track of that and keep everybody moving through, you write your names down and you create a checklist of categories: plans, look at the lot, home right or left, preliminary survey, selections, this, that, and the other. And as they go through it, as you're getting each one done, you can cross it off and keep them moving through. That way, you know which ones, and you write them down in order of priority on your list as well. So if you can do a system and have a system in place instead of just trying to remember everything or just writing everything down in a planner, because all of those things that I just talked about, they will not all fit in a planner. You've got to have something big, something in front of you that you can look at and you could say, oh, you know what? In order for the Joneses to be digging by the date in which I need them to dig and closing on their construction loan to earn my commission by this date in which you want, I need to get their survey work started. So you see that in front of you. You see that that category doesn't have an X on it, and you know that you need to get that done and keep moving them along there. So have a board like that in place. Have it online as well if the rest of your team at your home building company wants to kind of keep and follow along with things, so they know, they can look at your little board that you have online there or in your company folder, and they can say, okay, so-and-so, they're just getting their preliminary plan started and survey work started. It's going to be, 3 weeks before we're even ready to bring them into survey. So this is not only going to help you, but it's going to help the other teammates at your home building company. So having systems in place is going to ensure that you can sell more homes than you would without having a system. Try it. Put it into place. Just try the simple, if you're not doing this right now, every day, write down what you need to get done. Everything that's on your big, gigantic list of everything that you need to do. Prioritize that list. Then write down what you're going to do from 9 to 10 in the morning, from 10 to 11, from 11 to 12, from 12 to 1. Plan out your entire day. Stick to the plan to try this out. And I guarantee you will get 3 times as much of the work done in that one day than you would have if you were just writing everything down that you have to do and randomly going through the list and responding back to every email that you get and every phone call that you get and running here to do that and running here to do that. You can't do that. You can, but you're not going to be as successful as somebody who is on a system and who has their day planned out and has systems in place. So if you're serious about selling more homes and making more of an income for yourself, these are things that you need to do. And yeah, selling anything is not easy. And people don't like to have to try and plan everything out and write everything down and stick to a plan. They'd rather just go into the office and have their water cooler talks and, do the things that they need to do and make a comfortable income. And that's fine. You can do that. But if you want to go above and beyond that, if you want to rise to the top and make, way more than a comfortable income, these are things you have to do. You have to run yourself like a business. And any good business out there, they have systems in place. So you need to think of yourself as a business. Get the systems in place. Contact me. You can comment. Leave me an email. Subscribe to my channel if you find this is helpful, and I'll show you those systems. I've already got videos in place. I'll link to my show notes for 2 episodes that I did one about, like blocking and planning out your day, and then the other one about that board that I use that shows you, write everything in there that's your responsibility that you have to do with the client before they can start building a home, and then how to get through that. So I'll put both of those in my show notes, in my description. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. Please share this with somebody who is in the real estate industry. If somebody is a new construction home salesperson that you know or you are, share this, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Sorry for getting pushy on that. Have a good rest of the day. God bless.